Welcome back to another episode from the Critics Collective. I am the Dad Panther, writer, streamer, content creator, master of none, and I'm here with the not so super fan Manny. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
All right, we got a loaded potato for you on the 1, 2, 3 count. 3 count. We talk about 3 topics that grab our opinions, our attention, and things of that nature. You can continue that conversation inside the comments. Hit the like button, follow, and subscribe. Check out the description. You may find some things like the link for the WWE shop, and we appreciate all the support as always. So the 3 topics that we're going to talk about is Triple H booking. Is he really booking? Is he cooking? Is there any bias there? Does he have any favorites? We'll talk about Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg has said some things about a WWE superstar. Some will say a soon-to-be legend. We'll talk about that. And we're also going to talk about Cody Rhodes. I know there's a conversation of him switching the heel and doing all that other stuff, but is he deserving to hold the gold and hold the face of the company, especially after TKO's recent change? And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Goldberg. We'll talk about Bill Goldberg, and that is probably the best place to start this. Now, Bill Goldberg has some interesting things to say about a certain WWE superstar. Man, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so it's been going on there's been discourse everywhere right now about Bill Goldberg. He seems like he keep making comments that just hurting whatever legacy he has left. You know, about as you guys can see in the picture over here, Goldberg stated that WWE had some girl surpass his undefeated streak. Some girl at WWE did on purpose. I have nothing against the girl by any means, but yeah. So that right, that comment right there, a lot of people went, "Yo, what is up with this guy? Some girl," and everybody automatically, I guess they did their online investigation, and okay, it's Asuka, who I would say is definitely up there in the women's Mount Rushmore when it comes to her accolades in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So for Goldberg to even say that, as far as his undefeated streak, which I don't think he should put himself in the women's division. It should just stick. His streak should just only stand in the men division as far as undefeated. If Asuka beat it, so Asuka. But she has that. She is him, like Carmelo Hayes. You know, she's him. Because if you look at her accolades, you know, she has the longest winning streak in the women NXT Women Champion. She's a WWE Women Champion, Tag Team Champion. So the first woman to win the Royal Rumble table. So she's a Grand Slam champion. So I don't, and mind you, all the other belts she has from the Indies.
Yes, I
in
was going to
Japan.
say.
So you cannot deny Asuka.
Here's my thing. The fact that we're still talking about Bill Goldberg after the WWE gave him a last match against a great opponent who's going to be, you know, one of those opponents we talk about in the future, Gunther, Hole and Gold again. That's ridiculous. Also, the fact that, check the review that we did for the Goldberg documentary. When you really look at his career, and not try to look at it the vision or with the lens or the glasses of not even the Heartbreak Kid, fucking the Hitman, Bret Hart. It is ridiculous that this guy doesn't just doesn't chill and play in the background, because your streak has an asterisk by it, because we all know some of the same opponents that you made the streak were some of the same ones you beat multiple times. Some of them were jobbers. Some of them were someone that you would look at is not on your level. We look at the fact that his wrestling technique, and it's one of the best gimmicks ever done. It was a hell of a thing. Like, he's on Mount Rushmore, and he's like the John Cena for a lot of people who are WCW fans. I get that. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a female wrestler. You're not in the same league, literally. You're a female wrestler who has achieved more than you in a shorter period of time, who is a technical wrestler, a high flyer, a bruiser, strong style, and she has gold. She can go to any fucking promotion she wants to. And I just don't understand why certain wrestlers, as they get older, maybe just people as we get older, we just start running our mouth at a negative way. So I think it's ridiculous with all the wrestling news. that we once again are talking about Goldberg.
You're right. He should have just moved on and into the sunset and leave it as be a legend and not say anything. Because every time he says something, knowing that there's so much discourse about you, you know, you just keep quiet. You know, just let it be. You know,
he'll pop up, I'm sure, and say, "My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that."
Of course,
at that point, it wouldn't make any sense. And if I was the WWE at this point, I will let her come out with a very similar entrance. Have her knock on the door, and then just not the same music, her regular music. The crowd would go fucking bananas. It would go viral. Have her walk out with security, a bunch of dudes who are superstars who are basically like, "Hey, we're supporting you." Fuck what this guy said. She comes out with her click. She comes out. Give her the sparkles too. Give her the fucking spark. Let her just throw a few elbows. Just kind of get tuned
you never
up.
know, man.
Let her hit the fucking spear. Let her hit her own version of the jackknife. And the fucking fans will go ridiculous. And that's how you fucking book. And especially talking about booking, we have to talk about this guy here. Triple H. Is he cooking? Is he booking? And is he showing favoritism currently right now in the WWE? What you got, Manny?
So I know it's a sensitive topic to talk about when it comes to, you know, WWE and certain wrestlers of color, but one wrestler in particular, let's talk about Carmelo Hayes, you know, who came from NXT, who has all the moveset and everything. He goes to NXT compared to his other peers who came from NXT, who became champion before him. Lyra, recently Dragunov, Tiffany. Then now you have the Miz, you know, telling him, you know, he has to go through all these hoops to be champion, and now they're gonna have him feud with Miz and still not give him a belt. The worry is that if Trick, Oba, any wrestler of color that goes to the main roster, they're gonna be put in a burner and they're not gonna make champion. And you have Montez Ford, who I always say like he's probably one of the best wrestlers still in the main roster right now, who needs to go solo, where they're not doing much with him. And I feel like the tag team championship, nobody really cares about that. WWE don't care about the tag team championship. I think Bischoff said at some point like he didn't care about the tag team championship, that if it was up to him, he wouldn't have it, because he has to pay more people instead of one wrestler because of the tag team champion. So WWE don't really put much effort when it comes. I don't think they put too much effort when it comes to the tag team championship. But where you have Triple H doing those same old like nostalgic moment matches, I don't think they're pushing the new team. I mean, the new generation that forward like that. They're not.
Well, I think I'm hoping there's a time. I mean, I thought the draft was going to come sooner. I thought they were going to do another draft after TKO, but they're probably just going to do it how they've been doing it, which I believe is after WrestleMania, and we'll just go through there. But I think everybody kind of knows that the older guys are still kind of running it. That's just what it is. You got John Cena saying goodbye. Randy Orton's going to get a goodbye soon. You still have AJ who's going to get goodbye. So it's you're not bringing. And I think the same thing can happen to a lot of the errors in the WWE. They're not known, whether Vince was there or not, they're not known for bringing up the young guys. I feel like the young guys happen to pop up just because, and they take that moment and run with it. Like my example is SmackDown. When you had SmackDown was a new show, you had the OGs were on Raw. The new ones were on SmackDown. You had the Hardys, you had the Dudleys, you had Christian and Edge. You had, and that was just a tag team division. You had Chris Benoit, you had Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. You had like some really good fucking wrestling. And it was a lot of young newcomers that you didn't know. And then the WWE sprinkled in a different Undertaker and stuff like that. So I just think, to go back to the conversation about race, the numbers are the numbers. Are there some champions that are African American? Yes. Have they held the belt for over 100 days? Some of them, yes. 122. Some of them literally copied 122. Can we look at the fact that some of the same counterparts have won gold in a shorter amount of time than some of the ones who've been here longer? Hell yeah, we can say that. But I don't know what can you do to change anything, because when
But
you look at
are they putting? It's not. I know I brought up the African. Sorry, the people of color part, but are they putting that much effort into their storyline as much as they're putting their counterpart? That's what, which is some. This is some of the question that a lot of wrestlers, wrestling fan, WWE fan, are asking right now. Are they putting that much effort
I
currently
think they're
towards?
still trying to find the recipe of what wrestling looks like on television. Like, it always goes with these changes where, like, now the camera setup is different and you're getting more intimate stuff, and you got social media and you got injuries that throw stuff off, and the business that is TKO running it the way they need to. And how does that look for their partners that we don't even see in the background? Like,
And,
I feel like there's certain channels that are like, we want this guy, we want this girl.
and
And
that
now they've got to
is
work that.
it's not even that, and not just the color. Like, even let's say LA Knight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Where this guy is over, but it seemed like they're upset that he naturally got over, and they didn't push him.
they do. They did the same thing to Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, same thing. They did the same thing to Ziggy. He got over organically. That's just what it is. Um, you can't do it. You know, that's just
I wouldn't care. Give him the belt for the heavyweight or the WWE championship and see how it goes. Because he's still the number one selling merch currently, right? From my
I don't know.
understanding.
I don't know about that, but I feel like at the business part of it, a part of me is like, I don't want someone to take the championship as an experiment and doesn't keep the belt anymore.
But
I feel like that's
I think
tough.
it is an experiment
But let
when
it
you
be a
give the
long
belt.
run. Let it be a long run. No, like, if it's the US championship or the Intercontinental Championship, the tag team championships, fine. They change hands. It is what it is. You know, it
Because
adds to the history
even
of it, whatever. But your champion, there, I just don't remember a time where the WWE would have the champion lose the belt back and forth. Then it becomes a 24/7 championship. So you can, like, the thing with Tiffany right now, Tiffany, they know Tiffany's not it. Tiffany's not moving the needle the way they thought they were. And the same fans that wanted her there organically don't want her there anymore. And they're not there the same way. The same fans that want LA Knight. LA Knight will win, yeah, and then they'll move on to something else. They wanted Punk to win. It was a moment, yeah, but they moved on to something else. Unless there's a storyline that drives to CM Punk getting the championship belt again, which it looks like, you know, with Jay and Punk, it's just, you're trying to figure out the fans. And do you give the fans what you want, or do you think you know what's best for business?
yeah, and even again, Triple H, even I remember he had an interview. He said that himself. You can't always listen to the people online, but you can't, like, even with Randy. You brought up Randy Orton. You see how often they kept teasing Randy Orton, looking at the belt, making these side eyes towards
Mm-hmm.
Cody, like he's gonna turn on him. But they haven't moved the needle yet. Now, and not out of nowhere, it's like a feud between Cody and Drew McIntyre, which I think is what's it called, a sleight of hand move they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they gonna go with Cody being heel with that move, but we'll see what happens. If they're just playing with our emotion with that. This is one
I
thing
would
about
love them to
WWE.
experiment and not have him turn heel, but have him turn edgier, where you start blurring the line, because we already know a heel gets over better. That's just what it is. A heel gets over better for the simple fact that it's easier, like Roman said, in certain ways, to play the bad guy than the good guy. And to have him turn full heel Cody, I think will be premature of what everybody wants and would like to see. I think let him do some stuff that blurs the line, that gives him a little bit of edge.
And I think that's
But the
what the people
WWE
want.
wants that exactly. But you don't give the people what they want just
No,
yet,
but
because you don't have the next.
they want that Homelander heel where
You don't give it to him,
he
because
showed that face.
no, don't, because what's next? What's next? He's gonna run bad guy. He doesn't have the same power that I think of some of the other superstars. So he'll be a bad guy. You lost your baby face. You don't have a baby face. You don't have a true baby face. That's the thing about the WWE, at least what they're going right now, especially the market for kids, all the other stuff. You want a clean as fuck baby face, and that is Cody. That's why John Cena switching was so big, because he was a clean babyface for the company for decades. And you go through it, you already had your shady guys and they sold. You had your Shawn Michaels and you had your Bretts and you had your Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Randy Orton. The list goes on of heels that were liked. But the WWE tends to line up and say, we want to go clean and go babyface. So I'm curious what they're going to do. I hope they don't turn them heel,
I
because you
think they
want that
might.
battle.
I think this one they might.
I don't know
think they
who you
probably,
put as the baby face, because if I don't know.
if they don't, but this, I think it'll work out in the long run, because I think a lot of hate towards Cody is forced.
I don't think so. Even if you think about going heel for Cody, before we switch to the last topic of the day's episode, hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. The whole thing with Cody is, I wanted the storyline to be that Cody is frustrating because he keeps losing. He keeps losing. He keeps trying to be the good guy. And they were doing that at first, and they completely got away from it. He should have never got the belt back from John Cena. And he should have been on a losing streak. Not where he wasn't good. He was just missing it. He would just tap out. He would get counted out of the ring. Somebody kept cheating. He was just, you see him being frustrated. He's trying to be the good guy. And you get to one of the biggest stages, a pay-per-view or whatnot, the biggest stages. And he's like, I'm done with this shit. I'm dashing again. And then people get behind it. And then what you do is, when he starts trying to be nice again, you turn it up a notch, because you're hitting him with dashing without the mask. Then you turn it up a notch and you give him Homelander. You even have a time where he brings the mask back every now and then the mask gets cracked, and you're like, oh shit. He kind of, it's the Homelander, and then the full switch. He's like, I tried to be kind of nice with y'all motherfuckers, and y'all weren't listening. So now I'm gonna go ahead, and then you do that thing, and I think that's how Cody leads the company. But this clean babyface thing, I don't think it's working. And with the fact of working, we're gonna go ahead and go into our final conversation piece for the day of the 3 count. It is not Triple H. It's, did Triple H put the belt on the right guy? The right guy. Cody motherfucking Rhodes is the champion. Should he be the champion? Is he carrying the championship belt for the WWE? Now, mind you, if you're new to how wrestling works, or at least the WWE, they have a lot of times this one person who is the face of the company. They're the ones that goes around. They do the conversations with news people and movie reviews and all this other stuff. They make the rounds on a late night show. And Cody is that guy. It was Roman. Is Cody that guy? That's the question for today.
I think working in the company man wise, he's the right guy. The face, the press, the politics, Cody's the right guy. Do I believe that some of the discourse online is, again, forced? Yeah. But
how is it forced?
I think some people are just, again, a lot of people don't like babyface.
But what I'm saying is, that's not forced. Forced is Roman Reigns. I think it's
years. Forced
that was forced.
They don't have, like, the person. All right. So let me give you, like, Karrion Kross before he got. A lot of people were pushing for him to just. I'm using your example. You know, a lot of people were behind him. You know, we want Kross. But what happened after he got let go? Next Monday Night Raw, nobody was chanting Kross anymore. Still now, nobody's saying anything about him. He's like, he never existed.
Well, they gave us a Kross now.
Yeah,
it's Z and Aleister
which is
Black.
Kind of
that's wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
We got one at home, y'all.
And again, we go back to, hey, maybe they don't like anybody that organically gets over, because after Karrion Kross did that segment online, which is he went over. But I don't think Cody, like, we're agreeing with you. I don't think he should still be champion. I think somebody else should have defeated Cena and held onto the belt for the time being, not Cody. And put it, not even. Mainly, I wanted Drew McIntyre currently champion. I think it would have worked.
I would have went with Oba. Like I told you guys before in the
Oba?
previous episode, he would have came out. He would have Brock Lesnar him. You'd have been like, "What the f? What the f?" Like you seen what Brock did to John Cena, and then he comes out and does even worse to John Cena, and takes the belt off of him. Not Brock. Then Brock comes out. The music hits. People like, "Oh, and if we go back to race, and." It's like a meme that you see on TikTok or something. Black person's a WWE champion, they're holding it up, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits. You're like, damn. You're looking at your temperature like it was like, oh man, I feel like CM Punk right now. Then Brock comes out, and they go hands, and it is not the same. It is not the same. And the next pay per view, big boys, big many meaty men slapping meat. You get a hell of a match. Brock loses that match, and you establish a brand new heavyweight, a true heavyweight champion, a big boy. And now you have someone to take and have, not as a villain, because he's naturally, you can make him a villain, but you have your villain for your baby faces. You have your villains for your high flyers, for the different type of move sets. And I think you'll have an opportunity to kind of get that championship run that we saw with big guys like Brock, Kane, The Undertaker, the Big Show. So that's what I would have done before John Cena left. Put over other talent, send them into the stratosphere as far as where they're at with the fans. Now with Cody, I don't think he's forced. I think organically it happened. He came over. WWE did a great job sneaking him in. Fit a moment for WrestleMania, a moment with the Roman Reigns storyline, but winning the championship to me at that time was not to finish the story. So we were forced, finish the story. The story was never that beating Roman. I've said it before. The story for Roman Reigns was the bloodline. The bigger story for Roman Reigns is the Shield and his relationship with Seth, whether we get it with Dean Ambrose down the road, Mox, but point blank, that's the bigger story for Roman Reigns, not Cody. No disrespect. So Cody wins the belt. Cody's doing what he's doing now, and you're wondering what's going on with the buzz. Yes, he does a great job touring, says the right things. He's got movies just like Roman and some of the other ones. He looks good with the championship belt. Kids love him, singing the songs. I sing it all the time. But the thing that is happening, I feel like, not as impactful, but it reminds me of Tiffy Time. They won at Tiffy Time. Now they're done with Tiffy Time. And the WWE knows they're done with Tiffy Time. It's just not the same.
Yeah, we're like toddlers. Like hearing it again, I'm like, we're a bunch of WWE fans. We're a bunch of toddlers.
So what do you do if you're running this company? And again, I don't think Triple H is doing everything. I think he knows he has to be the face of it, like Dana White. Dana doesn't do all the decision making, but he's the face. I think you're trying to run a multi-billion-dollar company. You're trying to merge things together and set things up going into the next fiscal year for business versus profit and crap. There's going to be some downtime. There's going to be some stuff that's not right. And he's your champion right now. And you got a chance to work it. And you're going to try right now to work it with the storyline and see if he becomes that champion. But say what you want to say about part-time Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns moved the fucking needle from the COVID era all the way now. He moved the fucking needle. He made the company money, and he had people talking about wrestling and betting on wrestling that wasn't even wrestling fans. So I just think, not to say he shouldn't have the belt. They've got to come up with something in the story, or we're going to be talking about it the same way we're like, why isn't Gunther holding gold? Why isn't this person holding gold? And it just, again, the show's not long enough. They have the problem of having too much talent. Damn, they got too much talent. You can't put the belt on everybody. It is what it is. You can play a video game, GM mode, and create what you want. But with that being said, that brings us to the end of today's episode, the 3 count. Any last words? Any going out on the promo, anything like that?
No. It just hearing it again, like I said from you, it just makes it sound like, kind of perspective where we're WWE fan. It's like we get this toy, like, oh yeah, that's the toy I wanted. Then you see something new, like, all right, I don't want it no more, and I want the new
exactly.
Stuff. We
So
get
it's
bored
both.
easily.
We get bored as fans, and it happens. We're scrolling and things grab our attention, and then the other part about it is sometimes they move on. Again, you had Ron Cena. You had the man shave his hair. You changed it where he came back, and maybe you did it for another superstar as well. You changed what you were going to do, kayfabe or not. And what did that lead? So sometimes things change. Jacob, you had to write him out of the show because of an injury. Seth, you had to write him out of his. So there's so many things that go in play, and we learned it with the Unreal show, which we need to come back and do a review of it. But we learned that things happen in the background that fuck up the storyline that they're trying to do months in advance. And so
my final thing I would say, I know things happen in the background and everything, but I know, there's always a plan. Like you said, there's if Triple H doesn't run it, he's probably the face, but he's still a decision maker. And he's a head creator and the booking. Also, look at what Shawn Michaels is doing at NXT, which I would say is probably he's probably one of the best booker. It has the best women division in WWE, but I think he should give one of these new upcoming young talent a chance to see it. That one, I know experiments don't always work, but at least try with Carmelo. Put a belt on him, the United States Championship belt. Even now with the Open Challenge, or even the Intercontinental Championship. See where that goes with Carmelo Hayes. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it's not bringing revenue, it's not popular, it doesn't popular. You move on to the next one.
But now you've tainted the belt in a way, and that's any superstar. I don't care what fucking color they are. Like, you're looking at the championship belt. You should hold the belt for a bit. It should be a good run. Not you went out there. Did he or she sell shirts? No, they didn't. You know what? Take the belt off. Now the belt is like, all right, well, it switch hands. Then it switch hands. Then switch hands. And I can't remember what era that was. I don't know if that was Ruthless Aggression, but there was a certain era where the championship belt did switch a lot.
Yeah, that was the Ruthless Aggression.
And some people still talk about that being a shadow or a dark mark on the championship belt. Bringing in belts, getting rid of the belts, unifying belts, ununifying belts. And it's just like you built up these belts to hold the brand for the television because there's a business deal involved. They want the logo on the belt. They want this belt. Each company wants their own fucking championship. That's one of the real reasons we have these championships. Each territory wanted their own championship. Then television deals happened with WCW and WWE, especially in Georgia television. And they went ahead and said, well, I'll let you come on this program, USA or UPN or whatever it is, but we want our own championship. And we want this guy to be the champion because that guy moves needles and then we can sell ad revenue. That's really what it comes down to. So as much as we want to do XYZ, there are some other executives that are saying at the end of the day, thank you for watching today. Thank you for checking us out, the 3 Count. Subscribe, like, follow. Manny's like, damn, he wrapping up the show. He keep finding different ways to do it. Hey, listen, I'm Mr. Showtime the whole damn show, and you could have been anywhere in the world checking out me and Manny. Until next time, Daddy loves you.
Said I'ma get into it first, until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it.